I'm Lyndsey. I work with the Ponseti team at the Royal Free Hospital. How to put the boots and bar on your child at home. So yeah, if you ask anyone who's had a plaster on, they'll say once you get it taken off, the skin is super sensitive.
Oh really?
So over the first few days, he's probably really not going to like having socks put on and off and boots and bar put on and off, just because his skin is so sensitive. And that'll wear off over the first 3 days.
Yeah.
So tucked under, and this will just help me to make it easier. So I'm going to get the sock on before I put the pseudocreme on, and then I don't get pseudocreme all over me, him, and the house. I'm going to then spread on some pseudocreme, and you want it about as thick as sort of cream cheese or peanut butter. So not a massive layer, but enough that it's going to protect the skin. Okay? So you can see about how much that is. And then I'm just going to roll the sock up and over it. That will hopefully allow the pseudocreme to stay mostly in place without getting too much on your trousers, even though it got a bit. I'm going to pull the sock right up. Hello. Sorry. Okay. Hello. I'm going to pull the sock right up. And the reason we do that is to kind of stretch the fabric and make sure there's no chance of wrinkles.
Right.
If we get a wrinkle in the sock, what's going to happen is instead of the pressure under that strap being spread evenly all over the front of the foot, it gets focused in one place. So wrinkles are our enemy. Exactly. Exactly. You hold on to my elbow. We then get the shoes. With Talipes, with the boots and bar, we put the buckles on the inside, so it's the opposite of a lady's sandal. It doesn't matter so much at this age, because actually, you'll see the shoe is completely symmetrical.
Right.
But it matters when he's older, because if you have buckles on the outside, you will wreck your house.
Right,
because you'll bash them against things.
Okay,
so if you have them on the inside,
yes.
This is a house preservation strategy more than anything else.
I got you.
So we're going to open out the shoe fully.
Yeah.
If you feel, Julia, down at the bottom there, can you feel there's a dip?
Yeah.
And that's for the bony bit of his heel. Okay? So to park his heel back there, the easiest way to do it is if you bring his knee up to his tummy, it automatically allows you to stretch his foot up more. Yeah, so you're bringing his toes back towards his shin, his knee to his tummy, you're getting a nice pointy heel. If you keep the foot still and slide the shoe onto the foot, then what you want is plenty of heel in that hole at the back. So you've got a little viewing hole, so you can tell.
Same principle as the last one.
Yeah,
right,
you can tell once the foot is in the right position.
Yeah.
What you can't tell now is how I'm squeezing. So I've got my thumb squeezing over the front and my fingers squeezing over the back.
Yes, there's a good bit of pressure
to keep him in the shoe. Yeah?
Yeah.
Just like Olivia Manigashaw, she's got blue fingers. Isn't she that crazy? So what we need to do now is where you kind of need about 10 hands.
Right.
But you do get used to it. You're going to think we look very clumsy. By the time you come back in a month's time to show us how his feet are doing,
yes.
You're going to think we look clumsy when we put the boots and bar on. It is just habit and learning it.
Yes.
You're going to be okay. You'll be better than us in a month's time, okay? Promise you. So we're going to pull this tongue across. So the key is to keep the pressure on.
Yes.
Never let go.
Yes.
Whilst also moving things into place.
Same principle as the last one, isn't it?
Yes, exactly the same principle as the last one. This little dot here needs to go in the fold of his ankle. So can you see I'm smoothing it over. I've pulled it across and I'm smoothing it over so we don't end up with any wrinkles, and I'm just tucking it in at the end there. And then still holding at the front, and then going to move this strap over.
Yes.
And allow it to sit over that tongue. Now initially you can see there's a bit of a fold in the tongue. As the leather gets softer, suede gets softer, that it will kind of contour perfectly to his foot. Okay?
Yes.
So by shimming my hands around, I've got that all into place, and now I'm going to do up the buckle. So with the buckle, they give us this little roll thing, and I use that to roll. So I pull towards the centre, and I roll the roll thing along to keep his foot in. We can't quite make it to that one, so it's going to be this one. Yeah. Okay, so you can see he's got plenty of sock in there. There's no gaps where his foot can move around. And you can see I can get my fingernail under that middle strap, but I can't get my whole finger.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
That's the only strap that needs to be done that tight. The rest of them don't. Okay?
Yeah, understood.
So the top strap and the bottom strap are literally just to keep everything in place. So they can be done where you can just about fit your finger underneath.
Right.
Okay? So I'll do that, and then I can get my finger underneath that
Yes.
one, but that's fine. And I will mark all these holes. Right. Okay, so again, I can get my finger under that one. Right, I'm not going to tuck all these things in because I'm going to let you guys have a go at putting them on and off because he seems perfectly happy. But
Isn't it smart? He's the first.
What's here for? What on earth are these people worrying about, eh?
Yay. Hi, yes, say hello, Daddy.
Here we go.
Hello, Mama.
And then one thing we tend to do is just because there's a seam in the sock, is just pull the end of the sock out,
Yes.
just so the seam doesn't press on his toes, and then fold the top of the sock over the silicone so he hasn't got the sock pressing on his skin all the time,
Yes.
just because otherwise it might leave him with a sock mark. Yeah?
Okay, gotcha.
And then-
So we're caught between kind of
So you
the
need
devil
that,
and the
that,
deep blue
that
sea.
needs to be
That
tight
needs to be tight to stop that
rubbing.
rubbing. So what we're expecting to see is that the skin at the front of his ankle, where that strap goes across,
Yes.
is going to be red.
Yes.
During the times of day that he's got the boot off, that redness will fade
Yes.
and start to improve.
Yes.
What we don't want to see is we don't want to see any kind of spots of purple within that red or any blisters.
Yes.
Yeah? And if we do that, we know we can trust Noah's foot. Yeah?
Right.
We're not overly
Spots of
worried.
purple, blisters, that's all too tight or what?
That's all just means that he's managed to get some sort of pressure sore.
Yes.
sore.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to then give it skin a chance to heal. When pressure sores happen,
Yes.
the damage is usually further under the skin first,
Yes.
and then rises to the surface.
Right, I see.
So other services aren't so cautious as us. We're quite cautious in our approach.
Yes.
Because we know if we see something little at the top, it might be bigger further down.
Right,
And
yes.
it might take a couple of days for us to see the full extent of that.
Right.
So that's why we have the phone. And that's why we want, if you're worried about skin, we want you to send us pictures of
Yes.
the skin that you're worried about.
Right.
Oftentimes as well, you can get an idea of how bad things are by running your finger over it. It will go white
Yes.
and then go back to being red.
Yes.
And if it blanches, that's a really good sign.
Yes. And
Okay.
if it doesn't blanch,
If it doesn't blanch, if it stays red, even when you're running your finger over
Yes.
it, then we know that we perhaps need to give him more time to get used to the boots and
Right,
bar
okay.
and not use them quite so much. Tongue over a little bit further, really putting it across. That's it, and tuck it in. Well done. Good. And then check your work. So you've got it nice, smooth tongue. Yeah.
So tongue's not very far across.
So I think it's just gone up a little bit. That's all. So when you pull it, just try and pull it directly across. So even across and sort of down slightly, just so that holds in the sweep of the ankle. Okay? See, it doesn't really look or act like a kind of normal tongue on a normal shoe. And then big thumb. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Good time.
Yes.
Okay. Does that look doable?
Thank you so much. Thank you for that smile. Happy New Year!